what happened was that rasa means liquid. It's a rasa. If you drink too much liquid, particular liquids, you go a little mad. If that particular liquid happens to be scotch or brandy or whiskey, and you drink too much, because whiskey or liquor is also a ras, it's also a taste, a liquid, a flavor of liquid. And that liquid is imbued with particular qualities which create a type of insanity or intoxicating quality where one loses connection with his senses and the essential balance and reality and acts like a drunken man. So this is one form of ras, which is jada ras. Jada ras is the ras which is produced from this material energy. And everyone is intoxicated in this material world, intoxicated by false conceptions and false identities and false aspirations. What people are aspiring for are all the results of intoxication. Who people identify as is all results of intoxication. And what people do is all intoxicated activities. The whole material world and everyone in it is intoxicated with jada ras. But Balaram Das was intoxicated with prem ras unmata, mahamata, prem ras. He was intoxicated with the mellows of ecstatic love. So he wasn't stumbling along the pavement like an ordinary rasa-filled, whiskey rasa-filled drunken person. But he was absorbed in the love of God. He forgot everything about the material world. And the ordinary materialist, he maybe acted in a rather unusual way because he was always engaged in Krishna service. In the beginning of ISKCON, when Prabhupada was preaching and devotees were seriously taking up Krishna consciousness in the Western countries, people thought we were crazy. And they tried to arrest us and have us analyzed by psychiatrists and psychologists. Even one mother and father of one devotee in Caracas, Venezuela, Prabhupada went there for a visit. So that father hired a famous psychologist from one university in Venezuela to come and cross-examine Srila Prabhupada and reveal that he was a crazy man. This is in Lilamrita also, Caracas. So then they called in this very expert, famous professor of psychology, and with so many books. And so he met with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada tied him up in knots. Prabhupada actually made him sound like a babbling fool. He sounded like he was demented. He had definitely lost his screws, his brain screws. And he wasn't able to touch anywhere near Prabhupada's exaltation or to penetrate Prabhupada's pure Krishna consciousness, have any effect, or even able to carry on any dialogue. He had a whole set of questions which he would use to analyze and dissect Prabhupada's brain and mentality, and thereby draw the conclusion after his investigation through the conversation that the founder of the Krishna consciousness movement was simply a crazy man and making everybody else crazy with Hare Krishna mantra. But in fact, Prabhupada revealed that this psychologist should go see a psychiatrist because he came looking like a crackpot crazy man himself. So he was totally frustrated in his attempt to unveil or reveal that Prabhupada had some problem. So this Balaram Das is intoxicated with the mellows of ecstatic love. And so powerful was his prabhav, because love, of course, is the most powerful force in the entire world. Mundane material love moves the world in a lot of ways. People love power, they love money, and because of their love for power and money, the world moves. And various people try to influence others because of their love for power, distinction, control, money, lordship. They love it. But their prabhav is simply their association, and their prabhav and influence keeps everybody in a cycle of birth and death because they're all non-devotees. But this devotee, one devotee, Balaram Das, was so powerful and so influential and so pure and so ecstatically enraptured with divine love that Janara Vatase Seva Papa Jayanash. Janara Vatase Seva Papa Jayanash. That the breeze, the Vatase, Vat means Vata, like Vata, Ayurvedic Vata. Bengali is like Sanskrit. Janhara Vatase Seva Papa Nash. Simply the breeze that touched the body of Balaram Das would destroy all sins. Savapap. Now that's some serious power. Not one sin, or a handful, or a collection, or even a kuta. Kuta means a mountain. Anukut. So there's papakut. It's one of the 4 stages of sin in the chitta. The aprabdha, prabdha, bijam, and kutam. So this kuta means a hill, there's a stockpile of the bijams. It's a whole other discussion we've given already. Tata Darshan. So he had such prabhav that the breeze coming from his body would destroy all the sins, not just a small hilak or a kuta of sins. Now that's a powerful cyclone. Sometimes a breeze comes off the ocean and create typhoon. You've heard of typhoon? In English they say typhoon, in Hindi they say tufan. But Balaram Das was so pure, and it was just waves of love and waves of purity were flowing from his body. Chanarvitase Seva Papa Jayanash. Jarunatha Kavi Chandra Prema Rasamai Niravadi Nityananda Janhare Sadhai. It's another wonderful devotee. Let's mention him, Balaram Das, so he can maybe intoxicate us a little bit, and we're not asking him to bless us with the power that the breeze from our body will destroy anyone's sins, but we would like the breeze from his body. We would like to beg Balaram Das to blow some of your breeze my way, and may you be so kind to destroy my sins. Balaram Das Ki Jai. You can say it. Balaram Das Ki Jai. So let's hear the wonderful glories, or specifically wonderful glories of Yadunath Kavichandra. Yadunath Kavichandra Prema Rasamai Niravadi Nityananda Janhare Sadhai. Yadunath Kavichandra was filled with the mellows of ecstatic love. Nityananda was always merciful to him. So there's this slight tweak of difference between Balaram Das and Yadunath Kavichandra. Mind you, all these devotees we're hearing about are the eternal associates of Lord Nityananda. And of course they're all Premi Bhaktas and eternally in love with Radha and Krishna and Nityananda and Gaur. But they each have a specific aspect of their exaltation which is being noticed here and pointed out. They're all Prema Rasa Maya, basically. But then some had different. One was Prema Rasa Mahamata, Maha, greatly, completely, in a very complete way, maddened with rasa, Prema Rasa. So that's one thing. So many of them have rasa, some are mad, some are not so mad. Some are partially mad in Prema Rasa. But now what's his extra thing? His extra thing, because basically the common denominators, they all have love, Prem, Ras, no doubt. It's not that any of them don't. But he's mentioning that, he was specialized in that. But then he was Balaram Das. Balaram means power, spiritual power. Balaram. And his power was simply you know how powerful these devotees are? It's simply the breeze from Balaram's body with Sarva Papanash. You say Papanashnam or something like this. Bhakti Vignan Vinashanam, Sringa Bhagavan. So any of the vignas that are destroyed, the bad obstacles and impediments are destroyed by remembering and praying to the Sringa Bhagavan. Kavichandra, Yadunath Kavichandra, he was Prema Rasa Maya. So he was Maya, filled with, saturated with Prema Ras, mellows of ecstatic love, as the other one was, mellows of ecstatic love. Now what was his speciality? Nityananda Janhari Sadhai. That Nityananda was always merciful to him. So the specifics of that mercy that he received, and that must be more elaborated in his larger biography, which we don't have before us. But he was a Kripapatra. Nitai Kripapatra, the recipient of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And we certainly want to be that also. Because if Nityananda is always merciful to us, as he was Sadhai, Niravadi Nityananda Janhari Sadhai, Sadhai means all the time, always merciful to him, and if Nityananda is always merciful to us, then very soon we'll come to the platform of Prema Rasamaya. We'll become saturated with Krishna Prema, Bhava and then Prema. As it's told in Narottam Das Thakur's song, Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. And Radha Krishna, having Radha and Krishna means having Prema Ras. Prema. Prema Purushottam, Sri Krishna, and Rasamai Radha, Rasavati Radha. So when we say Prema Ras, it means Radha and Krishna. Prem for Krishna, and then Ras is Radha, Rasavati. And Prem Purushottam, they say that, Prem Purushottam, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya. Prema Ras. So this verse saying, Prema Rasa Maya, Niravadi Nityananda Janar Sadai, Narottam is saying the same thing, Nitai Bine Bai, hey brother, without the mercy of Nitai, you won't attain Radha and Krishna. And when a devotee attains Radha and Krishna, then that means he's Prema Rasa Maya. He's saturated with Prema Ras. And that Prema is Krishna, and Ras is Radha. Radha Ras, Sudha Nidhi. Nidhi means ocean, treasure. And Sudha means nectar. A nectar ocean of Ras. A nectar treasure house. A treasure house of nectarian rasas. Srimati Radharani ki Jai. Yadunath Kavichandra ki Jai.
Yadunath Kavichandra ki Jai.
Yadunath Kavichandra ki Jai.
Yadunath Kavichandra ki Jai.
All good things should be said 3 times, so we said thrice. Me, you twice. And even their names are so wonderful. Yadunath, the Lord of the Yadu dynasty. Who is that? Krishna. Who is Kavichandra? The moonlight poet. Chandra on the Kavis. The greatest moonlight poet. That would be, of course, the parrots of Vrindavan. They're extremely poetic. Let's hear another devotee. Jagadisha Pandit Parma Jyotir Dham Saparshade Nityananda Janradana Pran. Jagadish Pandit was the abode of great effulgence. Nityananda and his associates were his life and soul. Parma Jyotir Dham. They often have these. You go to Rishikesh in Haridwar. We lived there in 81 for some few months, 8 months or so. Preaching center from Krishna Balaram Temple. 3 or 4 brahmacharis. We were living in Lakshman Julan Road. And Rishikesh, near the Ganga, having class every evening in Hindi. And people were coming from the neighborhood, having kirtan. And There are many ashrams there because Haridwar and Rishikesh is the abode of yogis and jnanis and mystics and devotees. Vaishnavas are more Mayavadi type sadhus. Shivananda ashram is there in Rishikesh. Of course, he's Mayavadi. And many of the ashrams and the guest houses are called Jyotir Dham. Jyotir Dham. You must have had Jyotirgama. Tamasimam Jyotirgama. You must have heard this phrase. It's from Vedanta Sutra. Tamasimam Jyotirgama. Gama means move. Gamana. Vrindavan Gamana Lila. Going to, like a yatra, going to Vrindavan. Tamasimam. My ignorance should be replaced. I should come to the light. Tamasimam Jyotirgama. The Jyotir Dham, Vrindavan Thakur makes a distinction. He's not simply Jyotir Dham, because Jyotir Dham means Brahma Suyuja Mukti. The Brahma Jyoti. You've heard of the Brahma Jyoti. The Brahman effulgence of the Lord. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Krishna says, that Brahman effulgence is pratishta. It's established by me. It's with me. I've established it. It's part of me. It's my Jyoti. It's my aura. Also, God has an aura. We have auras and colors, different colors that expand on two sides of our body and around our bodies in shells or orbits, depending on our health and different organs. So we have an aura also. So the Lord also has. But we are part and parcel. Our radiance or energy field expanded from our body is called aura or shadow. God's has no shadow, but the aura or the energy field, spiritual particles of Atmas, Amshas, expanded from the body of Mahavishnu. They are called the Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is made of millions and millions of jiva souls. Explained in many places, but in Krishna book. Because that's all that's expanding from Mahavishnu is jiva shakti, life particles. Particles of life, particles of consciousness. Millions of them. So that collective mass of expanding jivas is the Brahma Jyoti. That's why they say we fall from the Brahma Jyoti. It's not we fall from the Brahma Jyoti, we expand from Mahavishnu. And that plane, that Tatastha range, as floating in a Tatastha, it's just like if you're swimming or something, there's two boats, well you can go and latch onto one boat or another boat. So the jiva's floating in that ocean of consciousness called the Brahma Jyoti. On one side is the Maya Jagat, solid terra firma. On the other side is the spiritual firma. So somehow he's just floating there as he expands from Mahavishnu, as that particle, jiva, part of that particle of light. Then he goes, that light particle comes here, gets a gross body. Light particle goes there, merges with all the other light particles, and stays there with the Jyoti. So that's Jyotir Dham. But he's called Parama Jyotir. He's a very high form of Jyotir Dham. Because it says that he was the abode of great effulgence. Parama Jyotir Dham. And what made him so effulgent? Nityananda's associates were his life and soul. Saparshade, Nityananda. Nityananda with his eternal associates, Saparshad, they were Dana Pran. They were his wealth and his very pran. So when one's life heirs and his wealth, the wealth of his life, is made of nothing but Krishna and his associates, then he becomes very effulgent. Parama Jyotir Dham. He becomes a Dham of Parama Jyoti. He becomes a Dham of the most brilliant effulgence of the presence of the Lord and his associates. They say, there's a verse in the second canto, it says, Bhavad Tirtha, that verse about the Guru, says that wherever he goes, he makes a holy place. Because he's carrying the Lord in his heart. So this is the same idea with Yadanath Acharya. This is first canto 13:10. It's a very nice verse because it's used in context of Vidura. When Vidura, the brother of Duryodhana, I believe, returned to the palace, he had gone on a tour all the holy places, and he met Maitreya Muni and also Uddhava. And he returned. Then he was glorified by King Yudhisthira because he preached that Vidura is the brother of Dhritarashtra, and he preached to Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra didn't want to hear it. So I guess Vidura and Duryodhana became angry and told Vidura to get out of here. So Vidura grabbed his bow, walked out and left his bow by the front door, which means I'm renouncing my Kshatriya Dharma, I'm taking sannyas. I'm leaving this family, I'm leaving my brother, Dhritarashtra. He's been ill-advised by his demoniac son Duryodhana. I no longer want to associate with him. He won't listen to me. Bhavad vida bhagavatas tirta bhutta swayam vibho tirti kurvanti tirtani swantak stena gadabrita. My Lord, Yudhisthira is greeting Vidura. My Lord Vidura, devotees like your good self, Bhavat vida bhagavatas. We say Chatur vidha Shri Bhagavat Prasadam means 4 types of. Vida means types of, categories of, groups of. Chatur vidha, 4 types of foodstuffs, like suck, chewed and drunk. So Bhavat vidas, vida, groups of bhavads. You're a Bhagavat. You're certainly. And what are you? You are Tirtha Bhutta Swayam. Swayam Bhagavan means directly, you yourself are Bhagavan, the original. So Tirtha Bhutta Swayam, you are the actual personified holy places. Devotees like your good self are holy places personified. How so? Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. Swantak stena, stan, situated, placed, located, swa anta, inside of you. Swa anta, inside, antaryami, super soul, goes inside. Swa anta stena, situated and located within us, and within you is Gadabrita. Gadabrita means the brother of Gada. Gada means one who carries a club, that's Haladar. Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha. Right? This is Dalji Balaram, Gada. Gadabrita means the brother of Gada, I believe. Or it means he holds the Gada. What does Brita mean? I don't know. He simply says the personality of Godhead, but Gada means club. So it means the carrier of the club or the son of the brother of the one who carries the club. So it's simply translated personality of Godhead. And we say Chakradhar. Chakradhar is the one who holds the chakra. We say Padmadhar or Kamaladhar. He holds the lotus also. So you're carrying the Lord in your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So this is the situation with Jagadish Pandit, that he was Parma Jyotir Dham, because he was carrying Nityananda and all his associates in his heart, his pran. Pran means heart, means consciousness, means life airs, it means existence. So his dhan and his pran, his wealth and his very life and breath, was none other than God in the form of Nityananda and Nityananda's parishads. So that transformed his body into an ordinary, from an ordinary, dull piece of lifeless matter, without any effulgent or transmitting qualities, light transmitting qualities. The presence of Nityananda and his associates in his heart transformed his body into a jyoti. It became a body of light. Parama Jyotir Dham became the abode, the holy abode, the Tirtha Dham became the holy abode of Lord Nityananda's associates, because he was always glorifying them and always carrying them and remembering them and serving them in his heart. And that made him extremely effulgent. Parama Jyotir Dham. So this is a good way to get the glow of health. And somebody's healthy, they have a glow. Not that they have shiny, oily skin like many people do, which is okay. It's great in a dry place like India or North India. But some people, even without oily skin, they're just, because they're healthy, they have a glow. Even their dry skin is glowing. And that's physical, material health of the physical body. But when a healthy soul is also very effulgent. Prabhupada said, when the devotees came to me, they were all dark-faced. They were tainted and colored by the mode of ignorance. I gave them a pallor, a dull look, a fainted look, jaded look. But then when they contacted Gulabjamins, they started to shine like Gulabjamins. And their faces took the shape of Gulabjamins after a few months in ISKCON. They became a little roundish type. And they were happy. They were glowing with the happiness of bhakti, and the happiness of serving Krishna. And people would remark, "Oh, Swami Bhaktivedanta, I met your devotees in the university. They were glowing. They were very bright-faced and effulgent personalities. What is your secret?" Prabhupada said, "I have no miracle. I have no secret. They're simply serving God with pure hearts and sincerely. And Krishna is pleased. So Krishna is manifesting as effulgence in their hearts and minds. So they're reflecting that to the world. And this is the contribution of devotees." The devotees are lighting up this world. Otherwise the world's dark. Demons are dark and dastardly creatures. Demons are dark and dastardly creatures that simply want to spread darkness everywhere. Pornography, rape, robbery, cheating, pollution, exploitation, exploiting nature, killing, murdering animals and everyone. All dark activities, demoniac civilization. So much darkness in the world. So each devotee is like a small firefly. Each devotee is like a small firefly or glowworm of bhakti. You see these fireflies. You call them firefly. Call them glowworms. A little bug that flies around on summer nights and at nighttime, and he has a little tail light, a little green phosphorescent something or other in there. And it lights up like a little light, like an airplane when he's landing, these little blue lights going toot, toot, toot. So there's little lights going on the backside. You ever seen? A little tail light, very safety conscious bug. He doesn't want any other bugs running into his trunk of his new car. So he has this little blinker on the back when he's going down. Be careful. And they're giving some light, not much. So devotees are like that. They're like that. They're like little glowworms. And they're blinking. They're shining rays of Krishna consciousness into this dark world. And when they all get together and have festivals, then they really illuminate in a big way. Festivals are so illuminating, so much illumination is created by Vaishnava festivals, like Kirtan festivals and Prasadam and Mancharak, all these different arrangements we have to spread Krishna consciousness. So much light is created by these festivals that illuminates the hearts of so many people, that many people come out of the darkness. Tamasi Manjyotir Kaman. They come out of the darkness after attending one of those festivals, and they surrender to Krishna Surya Samamaya Handakar. They surrender to the light of Krishna consciousness, and their lives become brilliant, pure, peaceful, and blissful. This is a result of festivals. We've had the experience in the West that after holding a big festival, oftentimes several devotees would join. You may remember also in the olden days. Why does that happen? Because somehow there's so much darkness, no one can see that they themselves are a devotee, or they can recognize it, nor can anyone else notice or see that they are a devotee floating in that sea of darkness of conditioned souls. Because the darkness is so thick, we can't see their firefly light. No one can see their glowworm tail light. But when the festival comes and all the devotees get together in massive cooperation and kirtan and prasad distribution, lecture and drama and plays and cultural events, it sheds lots of light. Brilliant sun of Krishna consciousness. So at least in that immediate area, that immediate city or country, very effective. And after the festival, then it's like the sun rises and it's daytime and so many wonderful things happen in the daytime. Then the sun sets and all kinds of evil spirits and ghosts and prates and demoniac personalities move in the darkness and create havoc and destruction in the evening time. When a festival comes, it's like the sun is rising on that city or that area. And everybody gets illuminated and gets benefited. Then again, after the festival is over, then again darkness settles over the city. No one joins till the next festival. It's very common. Have you seen it on the festival? At least those that live in temples. You're grihasthas, you don't know what's happening with temples. Who's coming, who's going, you're just home and go to a festival, okay. We see it's very tangible. You're temple president and no one's joined in 6 months, and then it's Janmashtami, and do your best to make a wonderful, illuminating and educational, enlightening festival, spiritually entertaining. Then, sure enough, some people move in, even the same day, right after. It's been seen everywhere, worldwide. So how is that so? That's because of Parama Jyotir Dham. And each devotee is a Jyotir Dham himself, and when many of them come together, it makes it Parama Jyotir Dham. The entire spiritual world descends in that particular place to illuminate the dark corner of Maya. That dark corner of Maya becomes illuminated by the presence of many devotees serving and performing Nam Sankirtan and preaching Krishna consciousness. This is Jagadish Pandit. He is such a devotee. His life and soul were Nityananda and Nityananda's associates. So we can have the continue tomorrow. Jagadish Pandit ki
Jai.
Jagadish Pandit ki Jai. Jagadish Pandit ki Jai. So we can pray to Jagadish Pandit now and tomorrow and every time, all the time. Please fill our minds and hearts with Jyoti, with Prem Jyoti, with that light of Radha's love, with the light of Prabhupada's love, with the light of Krishna's love, and the light of Gauranga's love, that transcendental Parama Jyoti, so that we become an abode, we become a dham, we become an abode of compassion, an abode of devotion, an abode of mercy for the others. And we can also pray to Jagadish Pandit that Nityananda and his associates become our dhan and our pran. Tomorrow, hopefully by the mercy of Vrindavan Das Thakur, we'll hear about Pandit Purushottam and other devotees like Kaliya Krishnadas, Dvija Krishnadas Mahashaya, Sadashiva Kaviraj Purushottam Das, Mahesh Pandit Udarana Datta, Gangadas Acharya Vaishnavaranda, Raghunath Puri, Manohar Narayan Krishnadas Devananda, Jiva Pandit, Paramananda Gupta Mahashaya. There's many great heroes coming down to appear on the stage of our minds, and we'll hear about their wonderful glories. Today we heard about Balaram Das and Yadunath Kavichandra and Jagadish Pandit. Vraha Mahadwadasi, the appearance day of Bhagavan Sri Varahadev, as narrated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, verses 17 through 50. While Brahma was engaged in the process of creation, the earth planet became inundated by a deluge and has gone down, sunk in the depths of the Garbhodak ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? Thought Brahma. It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Prabhupada's purport. The confidential servitors of Krishna are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. Devotees have full faith in Sri Krishna, and thus Krishna paves the way for the smooth progress of a devotee's duty. Prabhupada makes an interesting point here. Perplexed, but not discouraged. Sometimes in the course of devotional service, preaching or study, or any type of service for the pleasure of Sri Guru, the Vaishnavas, and Krishna, one may become bewildered or confused or temporarily perplexed. We never lose our enthusiasm to continually surrender to the Lord and continually serve the Lord, because we know we have full faith that Krishna will always help us, will always pull us through, always show us a way, always help us overcome the obstacles and remove the impediment and find a solution. There's no problem without a solution. There's no effect without a cause. So Krishna ultimately, if not immediately, ultimately, Krishna always paves the way for success and smooth progress of devotee's duty. Maitreya, narrating the story of the appearance of Bhagavan Varaha, said, "O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in meditation, a small form of a boar came out from his nostril, Varaha Toko, a minute form of a boar. The measurement of that creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb, Angushta." So he was only, Varaha, when he first appeared from the nose of Brahma, he was only about 1 inch long. While Brahma looked at Varaha, the boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation, as gigantic as a great elephant, a Gajamatra. So 1 minute the boar was 1 inch long, next minute the boar was as big as an elephant. Brahma was struck with wonder, observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky. Then together with other brahmanas like Marichi, the Kumaras and Manu, Brahma began to discuss and argue among themselves about this unusual, extraordinary appearance. Tarkaya Masa. Tarka, they argued, discussed. And this is what they were arguing and what they were saying. Is this fantastic boar some extraordinary entity come in the presence of a boar, in disguise of a boar? It is most amazing that he has come from my nose, thought Brahma. First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he is as large as an elephant. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu? While Brahma deliberated with his sons, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in this form as a boar, roared tumultuously like a great mountain. The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Varaha, enlivened Brahma and the other highly elevated brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions. So Brahma and other enlightened brahmanas who know the Supreme Personality of Godhead are always enlivened by the appearance of the Lord in any of his multi-incarnations. When the great sages and thinkers residing on Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka, when they heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was all auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they responded by chanting auspicious shlokas from the 3 Vedas. The appearance of Lord Boar is everything. He's merciful, he is all knowledge, and he is illusion also. Playing like an elephant, Vrahadev entered the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus Bhagavan Vrahadev understood that the devotees were praying for his pleasure. The Vedas are the breath of the Lord, and that breath was inhaled by Brahma, the original student of the Vedas. The breathing from the nostril of Brahma, which caused the appearance of Lord Varahadev, and therefore the boar incarnation of the Lord is actually the personified Vedas. Before entering the water of the Garbhodak ocean to rescue the earth planet, Lord Varahadev flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna shashanika lanka kalevani magna keshavadrita shukara rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. All glories to Lord Keshava, who appeared as a boar, Bhagavan Sri Varahadev. The earth planet was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Shashnikalanka, or the spots on the moon. Lord Varahadev was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and transcendental. Yet because he exhibited the body of a hog, he searched after the earth by smell with his snout. Varahadev's tusks were fearful. He glanced over the devotee brahmanas, engaged in offering prayers, and then he entered the water. We should always remember that although the body of a hog or a pig is material, the hog form of the Lord was not materially contaminated. It is not possible for an earthly hog to assume a gigantic form spreading throughout the sky, beginning from Satyaloka. The Lord's body is always transcendental in all circumstances. Therefore, when he assumes the form of a boar, it is only for his transcendental pastime. The body of Varahadev is all the Vedas, is all Vedas or transcendental. But since Lord Vishnu had assumed the form of a boar, that boar began to search out the earth by smelling, just like a hog will do. Lord Vishnu can perfectly play the part of any living entity. The gigantic feature of the boar was certainly very fearful for all non-devotees. But to the pure devotees of the Lord, he was not at all fearful. On the contrary, he was so pleasingly glancing upon his devotees that all of them felt transcendental happiness. There's Ugra Nrsinga and Shant Nrsinga. When Nrsinga Bhagavan appeared from the pillar in the palace of Hiranyakashipu, all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, they became frightened and alarmed. Even Lakshmi Devi was afraid to approach Nrsingadev, although he was actually her eternal consort and husband. But Bhakta Prahlad, he saw Ugra Nrsinga as Shant Nrsinga. Peaceful, oh my Lord, how beautiful, how sweet, how charming. The devotee brahmanas glorifying Lord Vishnu's appearance as the boar, the transcendental pig, Lord Varahadev, they were happy, they were very joyful to see the Lord in this wonderful dramatic performance, assuming this dramatic actor form acting on the stage of this material world in his Leela to deliver the world. They were very happy and joyful, not afraid at all. Lord Boar dove into the water like a great mountain, and he divided the middle of the ocean. 2 high waves appeared as the arms of that ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, "O my Lord of all sacrifices, please, Yageshwara Pahi Meti, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection." Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, sharp like arrows. He found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. Varahadev saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted the mountain. Varahadev found the earth on the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean, where all the planets rest during a devastation at the end of Brahma's day. Lord Varaha very easily took the earth on his tusks and lifted it out of the water, and he appeared very splendid. Then his anger glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord. Thereupon Lord Boar killed a demon within the water, just as a lion kills an elephant. The cheeks and tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging in the purple earth. Lord Varaha, playing like an elephant, suspended the earth on the edge of his curved white tusks. He assumed a bluish complexion like that of a tamal tree, and thus the sages, headed by Brahma, could understand that Lord Varahadev was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus they offered respectful obeisances unto the Lord. With great respect the sages uttered, "O unconquerable enjoyer of all sacrifices, all glories and all victories unto you. You are moving in your form of the personified Vedas, and in the hair holes of your body the oceans are submerged. In order to lift up the earth, you have now assumed the form of a boar." Prabhupada comments, Lord Vishnu can assume any form he likes, and in all circumstances he is the cause of all causes. I said Lord Vishnu, actually we can say Lord Krishna. Since Krishna's form is transcendental, he is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is in the causal ocean in the form of Mahavishnu. Innumerable universes generate from the holes of Krishna, of his bodily hairs, and thus his transcendental body is a Vedas personified. Lord Vishnu is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, unconquerable Supreme Personality of Godhead, never to be misunderstood, to be anything else than the Supreme Lord, even when he assumes the form of a boar to lift the earth. A clear understanding of the sages and great personalities like Brahma and the other higher residents. Brahma and the sages continued to pray, "O Lord Varaha, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifice. But souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see your form. All the Vedic hymns, Gayatri and others, are in the touch of your skin. In your bodily hairs is a kusha grass. In your eyes is a clarified butter. And in your 4 legs are the 4 kinds of fruitive activities. O Lord Varahadev, your tongue is a plate of sacrifice. Your nostril is another plate of sacrifice. And your belly is the eating place of sacrifice. And another plate of sacrifice is the holes of your ears. And your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice. Your throat is a plate of sacrifice known as Soma, and whatever you chew is known as Agnihotra." Prabhupada says, one cannot achieve the results of sacrifice unless one observes strict regulations. In this age of Kali, there is practically no facility for performing sacrifices in strict discipline. Therefore, in the age of Kali, there is a stricture regarding sacrifices. It is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtan Yagya and nothing more. Taking shelter of the Lord and rendering service to Him is the factual performance of all sacrifices. Different plates of sacrifice correspond to the different parts of the body of the Lord's incarnation. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtan Yagya to please the Lord's incarnation as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Varnam Trisa Krishnam Sango Pangashta Parshadam Yagya Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedashaha. This should be rigidly followed in order to achieve the result of Yagya performances. Text 37, Brahma and the sages continue. Moreover, O Lord Varaha, repetition of your appearance is the desire for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is a place for 3 desires. Your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as the fire of worship, and your living forces are the aggregate of all desires. O Lord Varahadev, your semen is the sacrifice called Soma Yagya. Your growth is the ritualistic performances of the morning. Your skin and touch sensations are the 7 elements of the Agni Shtoma sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbols of various other sacrifices performed in 12 days. Therefore you are the object of all sacrifices, called Soma Asoma, and you are bound by yagyas only. O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipable by universal prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure mind, freed from all visible and invisible material contamination. We offer our respectful obeisances to you as the Supreme Spiritual Master of knowledge and devotional service. O Lifter of the earth with its mountains, which you have lifted with your tusks, is situated as beautifully as a lotus flower, with leaves sustained by an infuriated elephant just coming out of the water. O Lord Varaha, as the peaks of great mountains become beautiful when decorated with clouds, your transcendental body has become beautiful because of your lifting the earth on the edge of your tusks. O Lord, for the residential purposes of all inhabitants, both moving and non-moving, this earth is your wife, and you are the Supreme Father. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, along with Mother Earth, in whom you have invested your own potency. Just as an expert sacrificer puts fire in the anarni wood. This is text 42 from chapter 13 of 3rd canto. Samstapayanam jagatam satashtusham lokaya patnim asimataram pita videmachasyae namasasahatvaya yasyam swatejognim ivarana vadha. The word here is patnim. Then it says sahatvaya yasyam swatejagnim. Swateja, in whom you have put swateja, in whom you have put your own potency. So in other scriptures, in other places in Bhagavatam, it explains that Bhaumasura, who later became known as Narakasura, the demon Narakasura, because of his bad association, Bhaumasura was the son of Krishna, and Krishna killed him. but he is specifically the son of Krishna in his form as Lord Varahadev. And the mother of that demon Narakasura is Mother Bhumi, Bhumi Mata. And he was conceived when Bhagavan Varahadev lifted the earth during this Leela of rescuing the earth from the Garbhodak ocean and killing Hiranyaksha in the very beginning of Satyuga. Lord Varahadev lifted the earth and accepted Mother Earth as his patni, which means wife. And then Saha Tvaya Yasyam Swatejo, he instilled his potency, his energy, he combined with Mother Bhumi by his touch, and they produced a child. So the son of Varahadev, Bhagavan Varahadev, and Bhumi Mata was known as Bhoma Asura. Bhoma means Bhumi, the son of Mother Bhumi, and Lord Varahadev obviously lived a long life. So later Narakasura was killed by Bhagavan Dwarkadish during his Leela as Bhagavan Sri Krishna Dwarkadish during Dwapara Yuga. Who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could deliver the earth from within the water? It is not very wonderful for you, however, because you acted most wonderfully in the creation of the universe. By your energy, you have created this wonderful cosmic manifestation. O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planets, Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. But still, we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs by the shaking of your body. Water being shaken off the bristly boar hairs of Lord Varahadev's back after coming out of the water. That water is as purifying or even more purifying than Ganga Jal, because that water coming from his body, they're both absolute and transcendental. Ordinarily in a village, if some boar or pig is moving around in a nali or drain somewhere and covered with water, and he comes out and shakes his hairs, shakes his body, and flings water here and there from the latrine or the nali, stool water, then everyone runs hither and thither to escape those drops of water. Because if those drops of water fall on one, they're considered completely contaminated. They have to change their clothes, take a bath, and put on fresh, clean clothes to counteract the contamination of receiving a few drops of water from the tips of the shoulder hairs of a village pig, a village boar. But in the case of the Lord, his body is completely transcendental and completely pure. Even Brahma and the greatest sages and Vairagis and renunciates of the universe, they consider themselves purified by receiving a few drops of water from the bristling hairs of the incarnation of the Lord as Lord Varahadev. Brahma and the sages continue their prayers. O Lord, there is no limit to your wonderful activities. Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities is certainly nonsensical. Everyone in this world is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies. So by Gyan, or the Arohapanta, ascending process of using our intellectual power or our speculations, we cannot understand the limits of the unlimited. This is nonsensical, foolish, ridiculous proposal. Anyone who thinks like this is completely captivated by Krishna's Mayak potency, misconception. The only thing one can do is to surrender unto Krishna, because he's a Chintya Shakti, he's inconceivable. By receiving his mercy, by his mercy he can be revealed and understood. That's the end of the sages' prayers. So they're concluding by praying for the benefit of the conditioned souls. May He bestow their mercy upon them. So now Maitreya Muni speaks to wrap up the story. Lord Varahadev, being thus worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the water with his hooves and placed it back on the water. In this manner, the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Lord Varaha, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on the water, he returned to his own abode. Evametam harimedaso hare katam subhadram kataniya mayana shanvita bhaktya shavayeta voshatim janardanos yashu Ridi prasidati. Maitreya Muni concludes with this Shrutifal, a benediction shloka. If one hears and describes in a devotional service attitude, Shanvita Bhaktya, this auspicious narration of Lord Bor, which is worthy of description, the Lord who is within the heart of everyone is very pleased. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In his various incarnations, the Lord appears, acts, and leaves behind him a narrative history which is as transcendental as he himself. Every one of us is fond of hearing some wonderful narration, but most stories are neither auspicious nor worth hearing because they are of the inferior quality of material nature. Every living entity is of superior quality, spirit soul, and nothing material can be auspicious for him. Intelligent persons should therefore hear personally and cause others to hear the descriptive narrations of the Lord's activities, for that will destroy the pangs of material existence. Out of His causeless mercy only, the Lord comes to this earth and leaves behind His merciful activities, so the devotees may derive transcendental benefit. Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in the transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart. For a devotee, there is nothing valuable to be achieved in this material world, save and except the devotional service of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. If one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration, because the Lord Himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart, and He knows the devotee's motive, and He arranges everything achievable. One merely has to become sincere in his purpose, and then the Lord is there to help in every way. Sincerity of purpose. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma adyanavritam. No covering, no material desire, no personal agenda, no ulterior motives, no mixture, little bhakti, little bhog, little Krishna, little Maya, a lot of Krishna, little Maya, a lot of Maya, little Krishna. We have to become very, very sincere in our purpose, that all we really want in life, and all we want to achieve is the eternal loving service of Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. There's nothing else we want in our mind, there's nothing else we desire in our heart. All other coverings and hankerings and wants are simply illusion. They're contaminations of our pure self, adulterations of our pure consciousness. Maitreya concludes the story by saying, Konama loke purushartha saravit pura katanam bhagavat kata sudham apiya karna jali bir bhavapaham aho virajita vina naretaram. Maitreya Muni concludes the narration, the Avirbhav of Bhagavan, Lord Varahadev, who, other than one who is not a human being, can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life. Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead's activities, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs? Saravit pura katanam. Saravit pura katanam. One who knows the essence of all past histories. Bhagavat kata sudam. Apiha. Piyo. He wants to drink. He only wants to drink and partake the nectar, the sudha, the nectar of the narrations about Bhagavan. Karna Anjalibi, by drinking that nectar with his ears. And that nectar, Bhava Apaham, will kill all material pangs. So if one is a human being, this is the right activity. The narrations of the activities of Bhagavan Sri Krishna are like a constant flow of nectar. Who can refuse such nectar? Only one who is not a human being would refuse such nectar. Krishna Bhakti is the highest goal of life for every human being. And such Krishna Bhakti begins by hearing about the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Only an animal, or a man who is almost an animal in behavior, can refuse to take an interest in hearing the transcendental message of the Lord. If anyone is serious about terminating his material existence, then he must hear and chant the transcendental narrations of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Otherwise, such a living entity cannot even be called a human being. Bhagavan Raha Avirbhav Titi Utsav Ki Jai. He displays the pastime of being, of being sick. And then Jagannath retires to a private quarters for 15 days. And it's said at that time that he's enjoying pastimes with Lakshmi Devi, his consort. This is Vaikuntha Bhav. Jagannath is considered to be this mood of Vaikuntha. And then after 2 weeks, he's been boxed up in a room for 2 weeks, and he's been sick and recovering, so he wants to go for a ride. He wants to get out, get some fresh air. So he goes for a festival, goes for a chariot festival, goes for a ride in his chariot. And he goes to a beautiful garden which was established. That garden was established by the queen of Indradumna. Her name was Gundicha. So she made a very beautiful garden, and it was her wish that Lord Jagannath would come and spend time in her garden and accept some puja there. So to reciprocate with his devotee, Gundicha Devi, then Jagannath goes for a ride. He goes in his chariots, takes his brother and sister, and they go to this nice garden. And they stay for 9 days, and then they return, Ultarath. So this is a general understanding. It's a festival, it's a deity festival, it's Jagannath's festival. He's going to this beautiful garden. And that's pretty much what everybody understands. All the arisen people. It's one of the annual festivals. But the inner significance of Kurukshetra and Vrindavan and Lord Chaitanya's dancing there, because Before 500 years ago, the festival was going on. Rath Yatra has been going on for 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000, 10,000 years. So there's no Lord Chaitanya dancing in front of the cart. So what is the relationship and the significance of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Jagannath, and what contribution and revelation did Gauranga Mahaprabhu add to the Rath Yatra festival? What new dimension did he bring about by his Leela that has only been manifested through the presence of Lord Chaitanya and his associates who would describe his Leela? And we are followers of that parampara, Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara. So we have a very unique, we the followers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Lord Gauranga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have a very unique and esoteric concept.
Govinda, Hare Purusha, Bhajami, Govinda, Hare Purusha, Bhajami, Virupan Mantam Aravinda Dayakasham Parhabhatam Samasitam Buddha Sundaram Tandarbhagoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shubha Govinda Adi Purusha Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakale Driya Vritti Manti Pachanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govinda Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Namo Vishnu Padmaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namo Vishnu Padmaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devani Prasarine Namaste Saraswati Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Punyavadi Vajrajali Tadavine Nityananda Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Radha Shama Sundara
भजभाकता वात्सला श्री गौर हरि भजभाकता वात्सला श्री गौर हरि श्री गौरा हरि नंदेर निर्देशे बैसे गिरिवार धारी नंदेर निर्देशे बैसे गिरिवार धारी बलदेव सहसखा बैसे सारी सारी बोल পাখির পুলি পায়াসানা ভজবা কাতবা চলা শ্রী গৌর হরি 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 কর্পূরায় অমৃত কেলি রম্ভা ক্ষীর সারা কর্পূরায় অমৃত কেলি রম্ভা ক্ষীর সারা অমৃতরা সালায়ামলা দ্বাদশ প্রকার লুচি চিনি সারে পুরি লাড্ডু রসাবলি লুচি চিনি সার পুরি লাড্ডু রসাবলি ভোজন করেন কৃষ্ণ হয় কুতূহলী ভোজন করেন কৃষ্ণ হয় কুতূহলী রাধিকার পাকায়ন বিবিধ ব্যঞ্জন রাধিকার পাকায়ন বিবিধ ব্যঞ্জন পরময়ানন্দে কৃষ্ণ করেন ভোজন পরময়ানন্দে কৃষ্ণ করেন ভোজন ছলে বলে লাড্ডু খায় শ্রীমধু মঙ্গল 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 বগল বাজায় আর জয় হরি বল 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 রাধিকা দিগানে হেরি নয়নের কোণে রাধিকা দিগানে হেরি নয়নের কোণে তৃপ্ত হয়ে খায় কৃষ্ণ যশোদা ভবনে তৃপ্ত হয়ে খায় কৃষ্ণ যশোদা ভবনে ভোজনান্তে প্রিয়ে কৃষ্ণ সুবাসিত বারি ভোজনান্তে প্রিয়ে কৃষ্ণ সুবাসিত বারি সবে মুখা প্রখালয় হয় সারে সারে সবে মুখ প্রখালয় হয় সারে সারে হস্তমুখ প্রখালিয়া যত সখা গণে হস্তমুখ প্রখালিয়া যত সখা গণে আনন্দে বিশ্রাম করে বল বস যায় কৃষ্ণ সুখে নিদ্রা যায় বস যায় কৃষ্ণ সুখে নিদ্রা যায় যশোমতী আজ্ঞা পে তনিষ্ঠায়ানিতা যশোমতী আজ্ঞা পে তনিষ্ঠায়ানিতা শ্রীকৃষ্ণ প্রসাদ রাধা গুঞ্জে হায় প্রীতা শ্রীকৃষ্ণ প্রসাদ রাধা গুঞ্জে হায় প্রীতা ললিতাদি সখী গানায় অবশেষ পায় ললিতাদি সখী গানায় অবশেষ পায় মনে মনে সুখে রাধা কৃষ্ণ গুণ গায় মনে মনে সুখে রাধা কৃষ্ণ গুণ গায় হরি লীলা একমাত্র যাহার প্রমোদ হরি লীলা একমাত্র যাহার প্রমোদ ভোগারতি গায় সেই ভক্তি বিনোদ ভোগারতি গায় সেই ভক্তি বিনোদ ভজবা কথা বাচল শ্রী গৌর হরি ভজবা কথা বাচল শ্রী গৌর হরি ভজবা কথা বাচল শ্রী গৌর হরি গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল নন্দ দুলালা জয় জয় সচি দুলালা 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 সচি দুলালা জয় জয় গৌর গোপালা সচি দুলালা জয় জয় গৌর গোপালা জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপালা জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপালা জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপালা জয় জয় গোবিন্দ
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Devasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara More Sri Krishna Chaitanya Toma bina ke dayalo jagat sansare patita pavana hetu Tava avatara patita pavana hetu Tava avatara Mosama patita Prabhu na paibe ara Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Rupa Raghunatha Patayuga Sri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha संग मागे नरोत्तम रामचंद्र संग मागे रामचंद्र संग मागे नरोत्तम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare